Mountain highs fade off into the distance like ghost riders in the sky. Black smoke and white wine, steel horses side by side. It's more than just a living, y'all. Hell, it's our way of life. We're the last of the cowboys. Giddy up, gone boys. 18 wheels on the concrete. It's a slow and dying breed, rolling like Jesse James. Modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys. It's a family tradition, diesels running through our veins. Daddy showed us the ropes, we were born in the fast lane. Branded by our heroes, taught to saddle up and move. Keep this country rolling, we're damn proud of what we do. We're the last of the cowboys, giddy up, gone boys. 18 wheels on the concrete, it's a slow and dying breed, rolling like Jesse James. Modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys. Third time generation. Little old school salvation. Blazing trails across this nation. Sea to shining sea. We're the last, we're the last, we're the last of the cowboys. We're the last of the cowboys. We're the last of the cowboys. The giddy up go boys. 18 wheels on the concrete. It's slow and dying breed, rolling like Jesse James. A modern day outlaw game. If you're out here riding with me, come on back and make some noise. We're the last of the cowboys. Modern day outlaw game. We're the last of the cowboys. We're the last of the cowboys. Saddle up, boys.
Man, Tony sent out some things today, some invitations to his truck show. I gotta look it up. I gotta spend some more time with it because I don't know anything about it. I haven't paid much attention. I've been too busy. In the Smokies. So I don't know. We try to get the date on that. Let me see if I can find that thing. I don't know when it is, but he's got this thing in the Smokies, and he's got Trucker G is going to be the MC, and hold on a minute. Let me get rid of that thing. Trucker G is going to be his MC, and I don't know what all. I guess it's a truck show and some music and all kind of cool stuff. I don't know. I gotta read up on it and find out more about it. Let's see. We got 3 people on here. If we don't have anybody calling or anybody to talk to tonight, it's been so damn cold and so miserable. I can find other shit to do. I can promise you I can. But anyway, I thought what we'd do tonight is just talk about stuff you guys want to talk about. I mean, I talk about stuff I want to talk about all the time. And it's probably 2/3 boring for most of you because you're sitting there going, yeah, I already know that shit. I don't need to talk about that shit to nobody. So if there's anything you guys want to talk about, there's the phone number. All you got to do is call up and say, I want to talk about this or I want to talk about that. And that's what we will do. and we'll just sit here and talk all about it. Get everybody's comments on it. Let's see here. Time to change hats. I got so many hats. Get on my Circle C. Do a little shameless promotion for my buddies down at Circle C, where we get a lot of our parts and a lot of our stuff. We buy a lot of stuff from those guys. Those are good guys. Let's see, Nikki and Nicholas taking the rest of the week off until New Year. Then I'll be back out. I get it. I would too. I don't even know what Freight's doing. I'd just be lying and making shit up if I tried to tell you what Freight was doing, because I don't know. Freight started working on our new contracts back in November, and he got most of those done for next year already. In fact, I think he's got them all done, and so I've been helping him with that and doing some other stuff here around the office, and I haven't even been to the shop. I haven't seen Ricky in a couple of weeks, and we're just trying to keep everything on an even keel. It's been so damn cold here, and I know you guys from up north are thinking, well, you pussy, and I get it, but we don't get that kind of weather here. I mean, we just don't. We don't get it to where it's 0 and 4 degrees and shit like that. I mean, the last time I remember that happening was probably 10 years ago, and I had a truck down in Nashville broke down. And one of my little girl drivers, and she was all froze up, and I had to get in the pickup truck and go down there. It wasn't snowing or anything; it was just like 5 degrees, and I had to go down there with one of those little handheld deals you get from back then. Back then at Kmart, those little torches, and I bought a couple of them and got down there and climbed up on that truck and. Just went around all the airlines until I got her thawed out and got her going again, and put some alcohol in it and shot it through there a few times and got her going. I don't miss that. I would be lying if I said I did. I don't miss that even a little tiny bit. But we just don't get that kind of weather here. And today's the first day that it's been over freezing in a week. So everything melted, and now everything's all wet and damp and shitty and all that. So the Titans collapsed. So I haven't been having much football to watch. I'm being from Florida. I still watch the Dolphins. Well, hell, they fell apart. So if it's a team you guys want to fall apart and just come apart at the seams and just go to hell in a handbasket, tell me who that is, and I'll start watching them, and I'll jinx the shit out of them, because evidently, I have that effect on people, on football teams, because every team I watch just falls apart. But anyway, that was the idea tonight. Get on. I hope everybody had a great Christmas. I hope everybody, got to spend a little bit of family time and be around the kiddies and the grandkiddies and all that. Robin, I'm in North Carolina. It went down to 7 degrees a few days ago. Last year it was 70. Yeah. I mean, it's just been crazy. I mean, here it happens. Hey, Mara, what up, girl? Here it happens, like I said, every 10 years, we'll get a snap like that, and it usually lasts like a day or two. And around here, we want Dallas to fall apart. I can take care of that. I'll watch them, because they're coming here to Nashville Thursday night to play here in Nashville, and I actually have seats down there, so I'll either go down there and watch them, in which case they'll fall completely to pieces, or I'll watch it on TV. It depends on what kind of mood I'm in. Anyway, it got cold here, and we don't have that. I mean, we just don't have that kind of weather here, and the local people. Like I live outside of Nashville. I live kind of out in the woods a little bit, and a little tiny town that we're kind of attached to. And we got a couple of pretty big plants here. And the night before the big freeze, the guys at the big plants came and said, you know what, we'll just shut down. And then that way, we'll shut everything down, turn everything off. And then that way, the rest of the little town have plenty of electricity. So Nashville had all these rolling blackouts and it was just freezing the shit out of people. Because it's supposed to be 15 minutes. They cut your power and you go 15 minutes and then they turn it back on. See, I don't understand that. But anyway, that's what they were doing. And we didn't have to do that in our little town. We had power the whole time. And then I woke up the next morning and turned on the TV and they said that there was over 30,000 people in Nashville, right in and around Nashville, that didn't have any power. And we didn't have that problem. But I live far enough out in the sticks that I've got one of those great big generators anyway. So, if shit goes out here, I just go downstairs and flip the switch and light this shit up. That's the way I like it. My neighbors like it too. They love it when I light shit up. Nikki says, I need the team formerly known as the Washington Redskins to win out so we get a playoff run. Did you know I saw that somebody was suing them? One of the ex-players, one of the ex-Hall of Fame players was suing them because of the name. I don't know. People worry about the weirdest shit, don't they? I mean, just the weirdest shit. Like, I don't do politics here, but I got a question. Everybody's watching these January 6th hearings on TV, and it's a big deal, and now they're turning it over to the Department of Justice and all that, and they want to know who started it and whose idea was it, and who's to blame. They're trying to blame somebody. What they better figure out is why those people were so fucking mad to start with. I mean, I don't remember a time, and I've been around for a little while, I don't remember a time people getting that damn mad, to go up there and bust up the damn Capitol building. That's pissed off, man. So you got a president, and I'm not talking about this one or the last one or the one before, just in general, of the president of the United States, for the last 20 years or so, 25 years, has been hovering around 30%, 35%. Approval rating, and that's bad. President of the United States, most powerful man in the world, 30%. 30%. And that sounds bad, doesn't it? I mean, it really does, that only 30% of the people, 35%, sometimes, on any given good day, if he gets on TV or something, jumps up to 40 for a day or two. But Congress has an approval rating of 13%. What that means is, that means the American people are pissed off. Congress as a whole, I mean, Democrat and Republican, and there's like 3 independents on there, which I'm an independent. But as a whole, 13%. That means that the people of the United States of America don't trust the people that we've hired to go up there and represent us. And they're mad. They're pissed off. So it seems to me like with all these hearings and all this shit that they're doing, they'd walk around and ask somebody how come they're all pissed off. I know I would. What are you so damn mad about? The hell's wrong? Better learn how to talk to each other again, too, if we're going to get through this. Going to get through it. But, you get guys on the extreme right and guys on the extreme left, and that's a grand total of about 8% of the people. Extreme, and that's all you hear about. You don't hear about the 92% of us in the middle that pretty much agree on damn near everything. There's some things we don't. I get it. I understand that. And I respect that. I respect that with my whole heart. I do. I think that people in this country ought to be free to do whatever the fuck they want to do as long as it doesn't hurt anybody else. I think you ought to do what you want to do. I'm tired of these regulations about trucking. I'm tired of it from people that don't know the business, that don't know what we do. I'm tired about that. I'm tired of that. Why do these big countries want to put big companies? Deb say, if we as truckers had shitty approval ratings like that, we'd be out of business. Yeah, damn right we would. Mara said, we keep voting them in. I'm not guilty of that, Mara. I'm not guilty of that. And I'm, like I said, I'm an independent. I try to vote for the person, not the party. I don't give a shit. The parties are, to me, destructive. That's all they do anymore is just divide people and keep them mad all the time. tired of that. We need to learn how to talk again like we used to. Respect opinions, respect this and respect that, and move forward. I don't know why these big companies are trying so hard, but they're getting there. They're wanting to do it. I said they, not we. There you go, babe. I don't know why these big companies, big mega companies, are so hell-bent on putting us little guys out of business. I don't get it. They don't want to do what we do. They won't do it. I'm in the milk business. Everybody knows that. It's not a big secret. I tell everybody. I'm in the milk business. Have been for 25 years. Been in the milk business. Schneider has tried to come in. J.B. Hunt has tried to come in. Who else? Prime, a couple of different times. Prime has tried to get into it. And they all do it for less than a year and pull out. The last big carrier, if you call them a big carrier, and I guess they are, was Cardinal. And they lasted about a year and a half and just walked in there one day and said, yeah, we're done. We're quitting in 30 days. Didn't even finish out their contracts. They said, well, you got to finish out these contracts and we'll sue you. And they said, fuck you, sue us. We don't care. It's not worth it. Do what you got to do. We're out of here in 30 days. Good luck. So they called me and a bunch of other little guys. We got a problem. Yeah, I'll bet you do. Anyway, the big companies don't want to do what we do. Okay? They don't want to do what Mara. They don't want to do what Mara does. They don't want to do what you do. For some reason, it doesn't fit within their matrix. Okay, where you have to pick up a load. It has to weigh this much. It has to fit on this trailer. It has to go from here this distance to this distance, and it has to be a primary pickup spot and a primary delivery spot. And they have to maximize their profit on that, or they don't want it. And I've said this about a million times, and I know people, people go, what are you talking about? Well, I've been doing this a long time. That's why I talk about it. But we have been we the small guys, we the little guys, we've been making our living in this business and in the gray areas, in the margins, for as long as I can remember. We've been doing stuff that the big guys don't want to do. They're these sorry-ass people that they call truck drivers out there. They're not going to do that. They're not going to do the stuff we do. They cry about everything they do now. They complain about everything they do. That's all they do is cry. They're not going to do the shit we do. So why in the world do these big mama carriers, why do they want to? Why are they working so hard to put us under? Here's another question. While I'm on my damn soapbox tonight, nobody's called. You can call in. There's a number right there. And most of you already have my number. Most of you have called me at one time or another. Here's another question I got. Why do us small carriers, small trucking companies, why do we continue to let these big brokerage houses put us out of business and keep all the money? And I see these, I get mad. You guys have heard me talk about this a million times, probably sick of it. Difficult loads take talented drivers. Talented drivers cost money. They take quantity over quality. Sure they do, Ron. It has to fit in their little box. You know what I mean? It's got to fit in their little box, or they don't want it. They've got a 27-year-old bean counter sitting upstairs with 2 assistants, and if it doesn't fit in that little box, they will cheerfully call a customer and go, yeah, we're not interested in that. Thank you very much, and hang up. They don't care. They don't want to do it. We figure out a way to make it work. We go out there and we do it, and we do it successfully, and we do it well, and we do it for a fair price, I think, 99 times out of 100. That's what I think. But anyway, why they want to put us down or put us under is beyond me. Because they don't want to do it. They're not going to do it. And why do we, and when I say we, I mean little guys, small guys, okay, small, medium-sized trucking company. Why do we keep letting big box brokers like TQL keep all our money? They should be working for us, kind of like the politicians in fucking Washington. They should be working for us. We should call them, and when they say, yeah, this load pays $1.86 a mile, I can get it done for that all day long. We should say, fuck you, it's $3.80 a mile. Take it or fucking leave it, and hang up the phone. Nicholas say they want to eliminate their competition. What competition? We're not competing for those loads. We're not competing for that. We don't go after those loads. We don't want to haul, most of the shit they haul. Speaking of that, the amount of new truckers, dispatching services, etc., make fucking TikToks all day. What the fuck's up with all that? I don't know. I don't watch it. Deb says, I can't remember the exact number, but it's something like 80% of the freight is moved by companies with less than 10 trucks. I don't think that's right. I mean, I hope it's not right, but I keep hearing that number, that we move 80, 90% of all this freight, we being the little guys. We move all this freight. It's incredibly difficult to get a contract with a company like, let's say, just to put it out there, let's say Walmart. If you're a small company, it's hard to get a contract. I know the lady personally. Her husband is a good and old friend of mine that runs transportation for one of the big retail companies, and I've known her since she was a kid. But now she's the big boss. She runs transportation, and she will tell you real quick that they won't even talk to a carrier with less than 140 trucks. I said, "Where'd you come up with that number? What's that number? Why'd you come up with that number?" She said, "Well, Jeff Harkins, what up, brother?" I said, "Where'd you come up with that number? Why is it 140 trucks?" What? She said, "Well, because typically we find that they have the right systems, computer systems, they have the right structure, all that stuff, so that it makes it much easier for our information to flow back and forth and for us to do business with them both, when it comes to bidding, when it comes to level of service. That means picking it up and delivering on time, accepting loads or refusing loads." So they have decided that if you're a trucking company with more than 140 trucks, you probably have those things. So, back when the shit hit the fan, when COVID hit the fan, Walmart told me they'd give me a contract if I had 15 trucks. I'm sure they would. I mean, I get, but I can tell you right now that Tractor Supply will not, unless she's changed her mind in the last week. Nicholas, they're trying to make us pull freight for the fuel surcharge. I called TQL on that a couple weeks ago. The guy was quiet as hell for a minute, and he said, "Well, that's the rate." I said, "Well, that's bullshit." And he hung up on me. So here's my thing. Everybody wants to go on strike. Be mad. Let's get mad. Let's slow roll them. I have never in my life, seen anybody win anybody else over to their side by pissing them off. Never seen that work. That's just me. But we don't need to do all that. We don't need to go to Washington and surround the Capitol. We don't need to do that. I'm serious, a heart attack. We don't need to do that. The big brokerages rely on us and nobody else. Those big mega carriers are not hauling freight for TQL. They are not. They don't get on the load board. They've got their own freight. Or they've got their own in-house brokerage and they can pick up loads here, pick up loads there. Or they'll deadhead 230 miles and charge the customer for that. But they're not hauling freight on DAT and truck stop and all that other shit. They don't haul that freight. We do. And nobody else. So those companies, TQL and those companies, depend on us to make their living, to make those millions and millions of dollars. TQL last quarter had the biggest quarter in the history of that company. Biggest profit in the history of the company. Stock's way up there. And the rates have been the cheapest we've seen them in 4 or 5 years. Why do we do that? And you say, well, a lot of these guys that are dependent on the load boards, and you know how I feel about that, and I'm not going to get into it. Mara said, yeah, we lost control around here because the megas came in and killed the rate. Yeah, they'll do that. But we don't even, Nick, just stop taking cheap freight. Nicholas, we don't even have to do that. Here's all we have to do. And I'm going to make this sound as simple as it is because I believe that. Okay? We just have to pick out one broker and say, you know what, we're done with you for 30 days. If we could get our friends and neighbors, the people that are our size in this business, to pick one broker, one, and just say, we're done with you for 30 days. The big carriers are not going to help them out because they don't give a fuck. They're not going to do it. But if we shut down one broker, just one, two things would happen. One, all that freight that these customers are giving to that broker because they beat it down, would go to somebody else. So the same loads you've been hauling for the last month would still be there. It'd just be somebody else would have them. Most of those customers that use those brokers don't give a shit about you. They don't care about it. They don't have any loyalty to anybody. They don't give a shit. They want it picked up cheap and on time. Period. But if we just picked one broker and said, you know what, we're through with you. We're done with you for 30 days, we would get everybody in this country's attention. Everybody. God damn. I mean, that sounds really simple, doesn't it? Morrow says they don't budge on their rates because they knew somebody will take it. And they do. Of course they do. Yeah, they do. They take it. Somebody will pick it up. And then you see these brilliant guys on social media. I'm down here in Miami and there ain't nothing down here but $1.30 a mile. I ain't gonna haul that shit. When's the last time you've been there in 20 years when it was any higher, dickhead? Why are you there? Why did you go down there for $2.42 a mile? You know, when I see guys like that, and ordinarily, I try to be a decent guy. I do, honestly, I do. I try to be a decent guy and care and participate and help out. You know, I'm not selling anything. I don't have anything to sell. I'm not one of these guys that gets on here day and night, gets on here, goes live 30 times a fucking week begging you to buy something. I'm not that guy. I don't like those people. Okay? They get on my fucking nerves. But here's the deal. Pick one broker. Just one. Doesn't have to be TQL, but it could be. Pick one and just say we're through with you for 30 days. We're not going to haul any of your loads. But somebody would do it. You know, one of these Chicago guys or whoever, you know, one of these Bowling Green. There's a bunch of guys in Bowling Green that haul cheap shit. You know, they'll go on there and go, hey, they're going to boycott TQL. That means they're going to have to pay us $3. We'll haul the shit out of it. So they wouldn't do it. So the problem is not so much that we don't know what to do. The problem is not so much that we don't know what to do. The problem is that we won't get together long enough to do it. Even something as simple as that. Same thing with a shipper or a receiver that's famous for holding you up. You know, locking your truck up for 24 hours, 36 hours, you know, shit like that, holding you out. You know, some of these assholes that if you get in weather like we've had for the last week and you show up 22 minutes late, they change your appointment to a week from now. Those people, fuck them. But we won't do it. We're not going to do it. So, I don't know. I'm just on here. Well, nobody's calling. That's all. I thought everybody would call and have plenty of shit to talk about tonight. I guess that's okay, though. The last guy I saw do a call-in show wound up crying. He did. He did. Deb said, that's right. We can't all agree on the price of a free cup of coffee, and that's a real shame. That's true. That's true. That's true. You know, a long time ago, Frank and I had 55 trucks, and that was my mindset back then. It was just growth mode. You know, I wanted to be really and truly. I kind of had my eyes set on 120. That's where I wanted to go. 120. We were headed that way. And then I just woke up. I just woke up one morning and a driver called in from Atlanta. I live in Nashville. Okay, it's 4 hours from here. Yeah, if you ain't got nothing for me in the next 30 fucking minutes, I'm coming to the fucking house. I ain't sitting here. So I told the dispatcher, I said, bring him in. What do you mean? I said, tell him, come on, bring it in. So he got there in 4 hours and he walked in the door. Let me tell you. I said, whoa. Before you start preaching, clean your truck out and preach all you want to. Well, I'll just whoop your ass. I said, bring it on, big motherfucker. You won't be the first one. Probably not the last. So let's just go ahead and get that out of the way. And I fired him. And I started firing people. I got tired of it. I can't stand this crying and bitching. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I'm sorry. I can't fucking stand it. So, somebody sent me a message. Hold on. Let's see what this message is. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I don't see the message. I've been promoting that for 3 years. Blacklist. Oh, he's got a Transpro Hub. Andy at Transpro Hub. You guys know him? He's listening to the show. Roger Jones. What's up, Roger? What's up, brother? Haven't heard from you in a while. Hope you had a Merry Christmas. Hope my girl had a Merry Christmas. Okay. Thank you very much. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. Nobody will stick together long enough to get anything done. I mean, even if we said, a broker that doesn't have very much freight, well, we're just going to shut you down because you're an asshole. Some middle of the road small guy, not TQL, not Robinson, not one of the big guys, XPO, those guys. One of the small guys. So you know what? We're just going to blow you up. Wouldn't happen. Wouldn't happen. Somebody else would see that as an opportunity to make an extra $1 a mile for 30 days, and that's what they'd go do. And they don't care if you make it or not. We're our own worst enemy. And people talk about things like, Roger said, got to come see you and Ricky soon. You even remember where we are, sir? Jeffrey said, it only took me 3 trucks to get over whining crybabies and fired the last one 9 weeks ago. I fired the last one 15 years ago. King of Freight then. But I started, we had kind of started the brokerage thing, and you sit down and you have back then my dad was still alive, and I would sit down and talk to my dad about different things, and he was really, really, really good at applying, just real straight common sense logic to a thing. And he asked me one day, sitting on his back porch up in the mountains, he said, let me ask you a question. He said, how do you compete with those big companies? You got to buy a new truck every 2 or 3 years. You got to have health insurance, life insurance. You got to have paid vacation. You got to have this. You got to have that. He said, how does a guy your size compete with those people? Because when he started our company in 1963, he never did have to, because the megas weren't there then. They didn't exist back then. And guys were happy to have a job. He would have people come apply for a job at our shop. And I remember walking there, and my dad would walk outside and tell him, I just don't have anything for you right now, Bubba. As soon as I get a truck, I'll call you. Believe me, I'll call. I'd love to have you. But damn it, I just don't have a truck to put you in, It was that way pretty much all of my life. Then it got to the point that the megas came in and all that. And my dad asked me that. And I said, I can't compete with those guys. Not in that way. I can make them a home. I can make them. I can work with them and get them home when they need to be home, and take care of their families when they're away, and put them in nice trucks and all that. But as far as all that other stuff, I can't. I'm not big enough to compete with those guys. Acosta. I don't know who this is. Let's see who this is. See if you can hear this guy. Hold on. Hello.
Hello. How you doing?
Fine. How you doing?
Very good. Yeah, I sent you a message. It was not clear. So I decided to give you a call. How's everything going?
Everything's going great. Did you send me a message about the tracking the blacklist?
Yeah, it's like I sent you a message. It's like a survey where we put the carriers, like who's doing what, and then depending on the day, how much damage they did, and we can decide how to who to block, so we can boycott each broker. But yeah, it's the first time I come across your show, and it's been interesting.
Oh, good. I'm glad you like it. I tell you what I'll do. I can't do it right now because I'm a one man show and I'm kind of trying to run this whole thing by myself. But as soon as we're done here, I'll post your link on all three of my pages because I'm on 2 pages on Facebook and I'm on YouTube also. And I'll put your link up on there. And then what we'll do is we'll just get you to come on the show with me one night, and we'll talk about it.
Yeah, I love that. And what's your name?
My name's Frank.
Frank?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you came in as G3, so I don't know your name, but it's nice to talk to you, Frank.
Yeah, man. You too. And like I said, as soon as the show is over, I'll put the link up on all 3 of my pages and try to get the word out there.
Yeah, check it out because it's something like what you talked about. It is a system, where everyone can jump in, put their comments. I think it's pretty nice. I've been pushing it for like 3 years. I've been in Idaho, kind of doing some real estate and, away from the trucking. Since it's so bad, it's been so bad.
Okay.
But yeah, it's kind of like what you said, and I mean, it's a great idea. So, but we'll talk again, a little more once you are on the show, and maybe we can do a, one-on-one or something like that.
Sounds good to me, man. I appreciate it.
All right, Frank. Thank you.
Thank you. Could you guys hear that? I tinker with this thing. I tinker with this thing all day today, trying to get the phone to feed into the system. I'm using this system, but I kind of like it. I wasn't sure. Shaggy and I both tried it at the same time, and we weren't sure if we liked it or not. But anyway, I couldn't get the phone to feed directly into it, so I thought, well, I'll just do it old school. We'll see how it works. I didn't know if you guys could. Nicholas, I ran some loads for them. They've been okay. Yeah, I got a blacklist for shoddy brokers. Oh, okay. I'll talk to the guy after the show. Well, let's see what. Anyway, so you guys don't want to talk, huh? They are too slow pay for me. Well, okay. Here we go. Anyway, that's enough of me bitching and moaning. I hope you guys buy some trucks in the near future. I don't know if Eddie Dion, Elizabeth Dion's on here tonight. You guys, you need to buy some trucks. Roger, you need to get that Peterbilt. Now I'm telling you, it's not getting any younger. Now that the weather's breaking, I'm going to go up here and finish it up, and that will be the end of it. But anyway, since there's only 5 of us hanging around, and here it is on a Tuesday night, and all this other shit, and I hear my dog down there screaming at me, so he must want to go out real bad. I'm going to go down there and take him out, and then I hope everybody has a happy, happy, happy New Year. I hope Christmas is good for everybody. But anyway, we'll try it again next week and see what's what. Who knows? Maybe next week somebody that's not trying to sell something will call me up. I got a Volvo I can trade you. Thank you, Maura. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to everybody. But you guys, man, let's see what I got here. Ooh, holy Moses. Anyway, I think that's about enough for tonight. Don't you guys? Let's go have some nice dinner and hang out and a cold drink and get together next Tuesday night and just talk about all things. Weather's going to start to break here before long. We're coming down the downhill side of it. Now I can feel it. Still got some winter left. I know. I got it. But we're going to get out there trucking and playing around and having some fun this year. So, hang in there with us and let's do that. In the meantime, take care of each other. Look after each other because we're what we got. And I'll see you guys next week. Good night.